So hi, welcome to the Good Noise Podcast here with Ryan from Seaway. We're gonna ask some questions today. I'm gonna start. So, what inspired the creation of the band, and what does the band name mean?
The creation of the band is a funny one because it's like we started in like 2011, but we had been jamming together for like years and years before that with various like pop bands, metal bands, hardcore bands, rock bands, just kind of like through high school. Not really ever having one set band, but every semester or so changing our focus. But yeah, I get Seaway. It's just another project that we tried out, and it was kind of the one that actually hit, and the one that people actually cared about.
Okay.
So that's how that started. The name of the band is actually, it's a tower in a university in Ontario. Where are you guys based?
I'm in New Jersey.
I'm in Virginia.
Jersey, okay. Jersey and Virginia. Okay, so it's a small university town in Ontario called Guelph. So it's the University of Guelph has a tower called, in the residence tower, called the Seaway Tower. So I think one of the guys was either staying there years ago or we were just partying there. I can't really remember. I think we were just walked by and we're like, yeah, okay, let's try that.
Oh.
And unfortunately it stuck.
Oh.
I think looking back, we probably could have, brainstorm a few better ideas, but this is what we're stuck with.
Was there
eight some odd years later?
There wasn't any like brainstorming process that was just like, that's cool, we're gonna use that.
That sounds great. Yeah.
That's exactly how it happened. Yeah, we walked by after a couple drinks, and more than a couple probably. And we're starting to write music, but we didn't have a name, and so we saw that one. We're like, yeah, let's stick with that, and yeah.
Okay.
No brainstorming at all.
Okay.
Wow.
We all
That's
just agreed. Yeah.
All right.
Sick. All right. So congrats on your upcoming release, Big Vibe. How do you feel about the response to the singles you've put out for it so far?
I think it's cool, kind of as much as we'd hoped for, I guess. It's so weird putting out singles now and then like not thinking about like playing them live yet is really strange. But in terms of internet response, it's been cool. We've gotten a lot of great feedback. I think the first single was like kind of the safer bet. I think the second one was a bit of a different one, and I think for both, people have been responding really well. So hopefully, it keeps streaming and eventually we can go play somewhere.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
Yeah, that'd be
hopefully, maybe 2021.
Yeah,
maybe. Cross fingers.
that'd be good.
Yeah. We're talking to some people in Australia and in Japan and in Canada. We're trying to get things going for 2021. I don't know if we're going to be in the States though.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, obviously.
We spoke to.
It's a crazy time in your country right now for COVID and all that. And
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
We spoke to the
We'll
Fame like a week ago, and they were like, "Yeah, shows are back. Like we're just living life." I'm like, "What the fuck? What's it
crazy?"
like? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Toronto isn't there yet, but
yeah,
it's getting there, right? Kind of.
Yeah,
maybe.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about your writing process for this record and how it's changed from your first release until now?
I mean, like just comparing it to our last record, Vacation, I think, I don't know. It's tough to say. It was different in that for Vacation, we pretty much had a record dialed in and demoed out. We did a lot of demoing with different producers before going into recording the record. So I think in a sense we were a lot more prepared for Vacation, but we kind of, that was by design, I guess. We wanted to go with, we didn't want them perfectly finished songs because we wanted to get into the studio and kind of like mold them while we were there. So we were maybe slightly less prepared. We had a lot of demos and we had a lot of ideas, but they weren't fully finished. And so that allowed us to mold the sound and, let the influences bleed a bit more and try out some new things in the studio instead of just having it all ready and just like putting it to tape. So
Yeah.
my dog's winging out.
Alright.
Wait, so do you think you prefer doing that, having like a partly finished project going into the studio and then kind of just doing it on the fly there?
I can't really say either way. I think there was like both instances worked for that situation. I think that going into vacation, there was a lot of pressure. We went and recorded in LA for the first time. We were staying there. We also went straight from like touring into recording that, so we wanted to be a lot more prepared. We were working with a new producer at the time, so that was, you know, a little bit more nerve-wracking. It was a great experience, but a little bit more nerve-wracking. This time, you know, we recorded it in Toronto. We were working with a producer who's an old friend who we've worked with, you know, for years and years and years now. He's even helped fill in and play in some shows before, so he's like a big piece of our band already. So it was easier to go in with unfinished stuff with him than it might have been with like a bigger producer in LA.
Okay. Yeah.
Just if that circumstance.
Yeah. Okay. That makes plenty of sense. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So where was your headspace while creating Big Vibe?
I think it was pretty. I think we're all just like, I don't know. There's certain pressures with recording. Just, you know, you want to have the best record you can put out, and obviously you want everybody to love it. And I think that maybe on past releases, we were a bit more weary of what people might think, and not just trying to do what people wanted, obviously doing what we wanted, but being conscious of like, oh, this might be a bit too weird, this might be a bit too different. I think the headspace excuse me, the headspace going into this record was very much like, let's just go for it. If something feels too weird, let's push it even further. You know, like, let's try some new sounds, which like you kind of hear in Wild Things and like a couple other songs that aren't out yet. So the headspace was kind of like 4 records in now. It was just like, honestly, a bit of like a fuck it. Let's just try something different. And not to say this is like a completely crazy experimental record. Like, it's still a Seaway record, but we were just kind of like, let's not dial it back. Let's go for it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, get the hell out of there. Dogs digging holes.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys have like that established name. So you just said, fuck it, we're going to try something new kind of thing.
Yeah. And not to say it was like complete confidence. Oh, we're totally established. Because I wouldn't say that, but it was more just like, let's just see how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's throw a few curveballs.
Right.
Exactly. That's so cool. All right.
So what band or artist influences do you think you can hear the most on this record?
I think the Cars was definitely a big influence for us. Has been in the past. And then we did that cover and kind of did a deep dive on the Cars. And like, if you're not familiar, Rick Ocasek, who's the singer and the songwriter, obviously put out tons of hits in the 80s with the Cars, and then also did a lot of producing. And so he produced a couple of those early Weezer records, which are some of our favorite records. So that was a big influence. I guess like a lot of power pop we were taking influence from, but not really trying to like emulate or anything. So I think you can hear some of that in the record, but it's still, you know, we weren't trying to make an 80s record or anything. The usual, I mean, like Weezer is a huge influence on us. Jimmy Eat World definitely on a couple songs. The Killers. We kind of tried to take every song as its own vibe or influence and kind of run with that. So there's like the overarching, like, yeah, like we were trying to make a sweet rock record and have some 80s power pop influence. But I think every song, if we could probably sit here and break down every song and the very different influences that each song had.
Wow. Oh, so it's like varied a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's all to say. It was, you know, 80s to mid 2000s rock music, you know, but I mean, there's a lot of pop influence on some of those songs too. So it's pretty wide. as a band, we listen to a lot of different stuff, as I'm sure most bands do. That's not really groundbreaking, but our favorite records growing up were very eclectic records. You know, it's not a song record from start to finish sounds like a very similar record. It's funny, even one of the guys mixing the record at one point was like, some of these songs don't sound like they should be on the same record. Like, he like made sure he had this the right songs on it. And we're like, no, yeah, this is it.
That's it.
It's a bit of a ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So what made you choose the name Big Vibe, and is there any meaning behind the cover art?
What made us choose it felt right. We were really brainstorming a lot. At first we didn't want to have the whole like title track and the album name being the same. And so we were trying to we had a lot of time to figure this out, right? We recorded back in January, so we really tried to work with that a bit, but we just kept Big Vibe was kind of the backup, but maybe we'll think of something better. And nothing really got close to that. And then it got to the point where it was like, no, it has to be Big Vibe. And then we were all like very stoked on it. So that's how that came to be, which is, I guess not the most interesting. It was like the backup name turned into like something we were really stoked on. But I think that's just how it all progressed. And once we worked on track listing and figured out all that, we realized like, no, this is definitely one of the standout hits in our opinion.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of album artwork, I don't want to say it doesn't mean anything. It could mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. We just let the artist, his name's Ben Lieber, we just let him kind of run with it, and we brainstormed influences back and forth. So a lot of that like 80s, 90s rock. We referenced some David Bowie covers. He referenced some Radiohead covers. We referenced some Ramones covers, and that's kind of what he came up with. And there was he did a lot of different stuff. Like he did a lot of artwork for that record, and that's just kind of what we zoned in on. So it's not like it's like, oh, those heads are from this reference to this song or anything. I think it's just the aura of a Big Vibe.
Okay. Yeah. It's Big Vibe as a picture.
Yeah,
there you go.
I think the name fits the album as a whole because we got a chance to listen to it, and I think it fits it. It is just one big vibe listening to that whole record. So
I don't know. We kind of resisted it at first and thought maybe saying vibe is too kitschy and too 2020, but I think it will be a bit more timeless once the record comes out.
Yeah. All right.
Definitely.
So what song took the longest to write, and do you have a favorite off the record?
What song took the longest to write? I don't know. It's tough to say because, there wasn't one song that completely stumped us. We were just kind of going piece by piece, song by song. So songs that were more finished were done earlier in the recording process, and then songs that still needed a verse or pieces to it were recorded later. So it's tough to say if one took way longer. It's just the effort spent on certain songs varied in terms of what was written and what wasn't written yet. So, I mean, I guess Wild Things was one of those ones where we started early. We're like, okay, let's sit on that for a bit just because we wanted to dial that in perfectly. And so that was one of the later ones that we did. So that we sat on it for a while, but that's not to say that we were working on it the whole time. Mm-hmm. Sorry, what was the second part about favorite songs?
Yeah, favorite song.
Yeah, it's tough. It's always tough to pick favorites, and especially before we've played them live, because I feel like once you're playing them live, that's when they really come out as favorites. I'm really stoked on Mrs. David. I'm really proud of that one. I think that's the best song we've ever. And that came out in a funny way where the record was finished. We finished recording it in mid-February. Mm-hmm. And then after the COVID shutdown, Andrew just kind of kept writing in March because we really had nothing else to do. And so we kind of broke the lockdown in Toronto, and Andrew, myself, and our producer Anton got together at his home studio and just felt it out and worked on it, and we were kind of like, yeah, this needs to be recorded. This needs to go on the record. So we went back into the studio and recorded that after the record was already fully done. So that was like a kind of cool way it came about, and definitely one of my favorites on the record.
That's interesting though, how you guys were down to the wire on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
but I mean, like, to be honest, it wasn't quite down to the wire because we thought the record was done. We were like, this is great. Record's done. We're good. And then it's just kind of more the added time gave us a bit more room to work with it a bit. So, but it's funny. Like, I don't think the record would be what it is without Mrs. David, and that song wouldn't have happened unless there was this shutdown. So it's like a weird silver lining in this whole shutdown is that we got a sick track out of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Which feels very selfish to say, but
hey, but
that's how
you did.
That's how it came.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So that's fine. So this question should be like super quick. I want you to describe this album in 3 words. Off the top of your head.
Banging ass shit.
There we go.
Wonderful. I love that so much. That is the best one we've gotten. And we've gotten like some weird ones. Oh yeah. That one's good.
Shit. All right.
Right on.
Wow.
So back when live music was a thing and the world was still open, the last tour you guys did was with Con. How'd that happen, and what was that experience like?
It was fun. It's like we had toured with them. When was that? 3 or 4 years ago, I guess, 2016 in Australia. So it was like a home tour for them, and we became buds with them through that. And we were kind of at the end of the whole Vacation and Fresh Produce album cycle, and so we just kind of wanted to get out one more time. And they were going out for a big headliner, and so we thought, yeah, let's do it. And we had some fun with them.
Okay.
Oh, wow. So it was that easy.
Yeah, sometimes it is that easy, and sometimes it isn't.
That's fair.
Sometimes it's just like, yeah, like this band that we're friends with is looking for someone to support them, and we're like, yeah, we're free, let's do it. We want to be doing something. Or sometimes you got to submit for those bigger tours with those bigger bands, like when we did Sum 41. That obviously it didn't happen that easily. There was a lot more moving parts to that. But
yeah. Wait, what was that experience like? Sum 41.
Yeah, that was really cool. We all, growing up in Toronto, in the Toronto area, we're huge fans of them. So when we got submitted and we're kind of pushing for it, we kind of thought, yeah, let's not get our hopes up. And then when it happened, it was like this crazy cool experience where we've toured with some. There we are. We toured with some cool bands and bands that like we definitely look up to, but Sum 41 is definitely one of those big ones for us. So that was unreal just to be able to watch them every night. They're such professionals and so on every single night, which I think is unreal because that's really hard to do. Sometimes you're tired after 7 shows straight, but you could never tell if they were tired.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I'm so happy you got that experience. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was rad.
Yeah. So on the topic of live shows, what top 3 songs from this album are you looking forward to playing live?
Yeah, I would say Mrs. David, Brain in a Jar, and then I think Pathetic might be a really cool one live. We always think about how a song is going to sound live when writing it. You know, it's kind of always in the back of your mind, like, will this be big or will this be a bit too anticlimactic? But Pathetic is one where, like, when we're writing it the whole time, the song kind of gradually builds, and we did that. Was definitely by design. So I think that'll be really cool to play live. Yeah, those 3. What did I say? Miss David, Brain in a Jar, Pathetic.
Yeah, it's a solid list.
I've never. Yeah. A band has never said like we made this song to sound good live. Like that's a new. Have you tried that before?
Really? They're probably lying.
Oh, that's fair.
I'd say they're probably lying, or they just don't want to admit it. But like, the producer we worked with on Vacation, Mike Green, who's done like a ton of big stuff, done a lot of really cool records. I think he did some stuff with State Champs, with Neck Deep, among so many others. He's a great producer, and he always every song that we were working on, he was like, okay, but where's he called it the crowd goes ooh moment, when like the part of the song hits, the chorus hits real big, and it's like, ooh, yeah, and so like I think that's something we learned from him, and it's like always in the back of our heads, like the crowd goes woo moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, when's everything gonna just explode with that? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I like
Yeah.
that. So where do you guys see the band in the next 5 years?
For the next 5 years, I can't even look at the next year.
That's fair.
I mean, hopefully playing bigger, better venues. Hopefully there's a vaccine very soon and we can all get back to touring. And yeah, in 5 years, in 2025, hopefully we're selling out bigger rooms, playing some bigger festivals maybe. There'll be maybe 2 more records by then in 5 years. So hopefully we're selling some stuff out. I want to be selling out.
Okay. Selling out. Okay. All right.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
In a good way.
In a good, exactly. Yeah.
Not in like a boy band way.
Not in like Seaway goes completely radio pop.
Yeah.
But just
no, and like I don't know, maybe that's the natural progression.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll see.
If you want to do that,
yeah.
go for it.
Yeah. I mean, what's selling out anyway?
Exactly. So for the last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay, and go straight to death row. So, if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
I would probably go surf and turf, steak and lobster.
Okay.
Get like a really nice lobster. My partner, her family I guess her dad's side is from out in Nova Scotia. Do you guys know, like it's just north of Maine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like wicked good seafood out there. And we normally go every summer, but we couldn't go this summer because of the shutdown. So if I was on death row right now, I would definitely be eating a Nova Scotia lobster. And just a pint of beer, probably a big frothy pint.
Okay.
Solid. Mm-hmm.
So if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
I think it'd be cool to live in Hogwarts, maybe, or learn some magic. Yeah, I don't know. That was the first thing that came to mind.
Wait, so if you were in Hogwarts, what would your house be?
I mean, I'd like to say it's Gryffindor, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay, all right, Gryffindor.
I'm definitely not a Slytherin guy.
Yeah.
I don't mind Hufflepuff. I'd like to say Gryffindor though, but that's not up to me.
Hey, Gryffindor is respectful. I can respect that. That's fair.
What's your house?
Oh, I'm a Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff, true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like because and you've done the tests or the quizzes and all that? Yeah.
Yeah, I did the test twice because I wanted Ravenclaw or like Slytherin, but I got Hufflepuff twice. So
fair. Maybe I should do that.
Yeah, you should. It's really quick too. Anyways, I have the honor of asking the last question, and every single person we've spoken to has said it's the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Damn, that's the hardest question you asked all day.
Exactly. I know.
I like blue.
You like blue? But is it your favorite?
Ooh, got him there.
Yeah. I think it is. Yeah, I think it is.
You think it is? Okay. Do you have a specific shade of blue?
Like a dark blue.
Okay.
See, I'm wearing these Nike slides right now.
Oh, okay. All right. That's a good
dark blue like that. Yeah.
All right, something like that.
Taste.
So as Gloria said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything you'd like to plug?
Just to pre-order the new record on seawayband.com or through Pure Noise Records. Pre-order the record. That always helps us a lot. Helps us, afford to do cool tours and to keep coming back to all your cities. So pre-order the record, buy the record, stream the record, do all that.
All right. Well, thank you for sitting down with us. This has been Ryan from Seaway, and we're the Good Noise Podcast.